Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra Friday episode. Is the 15th day of September 2023, and we are so much delighted to be here again today. And it's weekend. Some people will say, thank God it's Friday. You know, we give God all the praise and glory because we actually began this week on a beautiful note, and we are actually ending on a beautiful note again. We can't give God less glory. Thank you so much for always waking up with us on Good Morning Anambra Show. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Let's begin with the press review. All right, you're welcome. It's Press Review on ABS Television, and draw closer to your TV set. Let's, look at stories making their headlines on some of our national dailies, and of course, stories making their headlines on ABS website. You know, we have so many papers here for review, and we've been joined by some analysts in the studio this morning. Arinze Anyebunam is a public affairs analyst. Good to have you in the studio, Arinze.
Good morning, good to have you. Thanks for having me, Radha.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. It's a pleasure being here once again.
We also have Imandi Ezenago. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start. We'll begin with taking a look at some of the stories making their headlines on ABS website. Stories on ABS website. Residents of Ugwaba Obosi hail Soludo on road project. National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives organizes free medical outreach at Oba Ofemile. Operatives of Anambra State Police Command smash kidnap gang at Newichi. Recruitment, Oko youths protest against Federal Polytechnic over alleged neglect. All right, a lot of stories there. Let me start with you.
As when I come around, it will usually be said public affairs analyst, but let me also establish this fact that I am also the secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Students Anambra State chapter. And consequent on that, I would like to speak on the Oko Youth saga. It's one basic thing that keeps happening. Unfortunately, the school should not outrightly hold it against the community, rather should not outrightly hold it against the school. The school is a federal school, and they are being powered and sponsored by the federal government. You see, I would not really know what exactly is the neglect. It could be in terms of employment, it could be in terms of admission or whatever, but you cannot want to gain admission in respect to being an indigene of a community.
I think it's on job, and you should know that there is a criteria for employment. That communities are involved nationally. I've seen that the communities, there are slots for them.
But those slots are actually anchored on the positions. If you're not qualified, say for instance, you want to be employed as a lecturer. What if you don't have the basic prerequisites? You can't just jump into lecturing, except for maybe positions like the security guards and all of that. It's not something. We are in a system where everybody believes it's their rights.
Well, until we have had the details.
The details of the story, basically.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Ugwaba
Obosi
Helen Soludo
road project.
Okay.
Soludo has completed 16-kilometer road at Ajala, I think so. Then 33 road is about 80 to 90% completion. Then another one has also been completed. And there is no local government in Anambra State that doesn't have, currently, that doesn't have construction of roads going on. So I joined the Uwabo Bosi to help Soludo on the road construction. And I also want to use the opportunity to beg the contractors to give us quality roads. Whatever thing that they promise that the road will last for so and so years, let it be accordingly. And as for the residents, let them also see this road projects as their personal belonging. In the sense, they should help to protect the roads. How? Illegal throwing of waste bins in the gutters should be stopped, so that the waterways can be free for flow of water during this rainy season.
Okay.
So, and they should also keep it clean. Please, they should maintain their waste bins and dispose it properly and at the designated places provided by the government.
Okay, it seems you are in the mind of Aswama, because they've pleaded with each local government transition committee chairman to, site refuse dump sites, in all the local government, and they said that if you are found, dumping your refuse indiscriminately, you will be prosecuted. I think
that's the right thing to actually
ensure that
yes.
the road lasts, actually. All right, let's move on now to the first paper for review, the New National Star. That's the first paper we are looking at this morning. The banner headlines in front of the Punch reads, APC driving Nigeria to one-party rule. PDP BOT speaking, says APC can't force Nigerians to join party. Again, reiterate PDP's rejection of PEPC judgment. Also in front of the paper, we have protest rock states over lopsided distribution of palliatives. We have riders. Niger warns against diversion. PDP LP reject Uzodimma's operation. Show your PVC before collection. Nasarawa Assembly probes illegal diversion and sale. Auto crashes claim 20 lives, injure 36 in Kogi. Kaduna court convicts 5 American citizens of internet fraud. National power grid collapse caused by fire incident at Delabo. Osimhen nominated for 2023 Best FIFA Footballer Award. Labour Party reclaims Delta Rep seat as Abure accuses tribunals of targeting LP in judgments. Tinubu appoints Zach Adedeji as new FIRS acting chairman. These are the stories making the headlines. I don't know. Let's look at the grid that collapsed. And thank God the light came yesterday. A lot of people thought that we are back to the era of epileptic power supply, but yesterday the light was actually restored. That means it's just 2 days. Yeah.
You see, as much as we are seemingly in the habit of blaming government or parastatals for certain things. A few days ago, I was opportune to be in Unizik, and I heard. Upon hearing, I discovered that incident happened very close to where I was, close to the economics department of Unizik. Somebody was bold enough to attempt taking armored cables or something.
Okay, the one that was electrocuted.
As silly as that, I could not just fathom on what I know that power, the EEDC staffs and all of that, before they attempt anything on power channels, they power off the lights or whatever, how they operate. And somebody went there, and you can't just say but imagine. We're talking about power outage. It's unfortunate, but as a matter of fact,
they gave their reason as fire incident being the cause.
So but truth be told, I want to give kudos to them. My area is one place that we seemingly are in blackout when it comes to power. But for days now, you feel like some kind of government official, yes, that we enjoy power. They are doing good if it's sustained. And it also shows, even in the last event that the Anambra State government had, the governor actually spoke of having some kind of MOU with EEDC or stuff like that. So Anambra is enjoying power, and the governor is doing pretty well in too many areas.
All right, quickly, let's see the protest rocking states over lopsided distribution of palliatives. Must everything be turned into politics in Nigeria, where the Imo State governor is asking people to show their PVC before they collect palliative? Should that be a criteria? Should we turn everything into politics in this nation?
You know,
it's already happening. I mentioned it at the first place that giving these state governors this palliative to share, that it will, that they will politicize it, especially to the party.
Party members.
To the party.
Party
to the party
members.
first.
Are they not politicians?
That is the thing.
You know, who do we give? Who knows you to call you and give you to share? Okay. They are the people that they will give, because these are the people they know.
You know, starting from
But my own is, must we turn everything into politics in Nigeria to give people food to eat?
Corrupt system.
That is to show you the type of system of government that we operate in Nigeria.
And not just system of government, people's mindset.
Even at this,
people's mindset.
Even at as it is, they have politicized it. And coming to politicizing it is now a party system, a party affair. Because some will say, because they would like to share it at the world, from the local government level to the world level. Then coming to share it at the local government level, we found out that most of the local government stakeholders are APC. So they would like to share it. And then coming to the world, the same party. So it's cut across the states, both the PDP states and the APC states in the country. But that was not the idea of the president releasing the palliative.
Or that is not what it should be. That is what you're saying.
Exactly the point. That is not what it should be. But unfortunately, our system seems to have been readjusted by these gladiators to accommodate party faithfuls. And when you talk about even the disbursing or whatever of these palliatives, amongst those party members, they will give it to the party faithfuls. Because there are some persons who are not very committed to the party thing. Maybe if you sing A and it favors them their way. So it's bad.
You know, with this now, does it mean there are people that won't get this palliative?
Exactly.
That is what it means.
Exactly.
Because Nigeria should be Nigeria, irrespective of party affiliation or whatever. You know, but I don't know what to say about this. But I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. Okay, let's move on to the Punch newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Punch newspaper. Nigeria's debt jumps by 75% in 3 months, hits 87 trillion naira. Are we still borrowing? How CBN loans to federal government, new debts, promissory notes raise public debts to 37 trillion naira between April and June. Tinubu's reforms will improve debt sustainability, DMO assures Nigerians, as latest figure overshoots agency projection by 10 trillion. Also in front of the Punch, electricity consumers slam federal government over power grid collapses. Manufactured goods imports gulp $6.7 billion in 6 months. That's report. Tinubu orders NAMI's retirement. Appoints Adedeji FIRS chair. Tinubu promises to tackle poverty, complete East-West road. We also have Alake has provided qualitative leadership for Egba Anglican primate, NURTW president, 21 others arrested for alleged killing. Zero allocation, Ogun local government chair impeached. Lampoon's Abiodun. Okay. are we still borrowing in Nigeria? That our debt is jumping to, or has jumped to 75% in 6 months. It's 87 trillion naira.
No, the unfortunate thing now is, even as an analyst, there are certain things you cannot outrightly quote or say. So it doesn't, they will attribute it to some kind of tribalism or you play impact or whatever thing. But the truth is this. There is a cliche that, as I would want to put it, that the former governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, would usually use that I like. Let's move from consumption to production. Let's be productive. If we attempt productivity, definitely the issues of borrowing and our debt, whatever, skyrocketing, will actually be managed. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Somebody was saying, in respect to this palliative and the 5 billion, whatever palliative, if we harness, if we harmonize these funds into a sector that will be productive, it will be better off. We just treated it now. The palliative is even an issue already. So more like to say that the palliative and the money or whatever will be a waste. So it's pathetic. It's really, really pathetic, I tell you.
Okay, I don't know, this issue of NURTW president. The other day, we had, we saw in the papers that there were gunshots in Abuja, where some NURTW, they had clash. You know, now they said 21, their president and 21 others arrested for alleged killing.
I don't know, but truth is, if we begin to deal with impunities, too many things will be better off in our system.
But you know, that day, we didn't know actually where the gunshots are coming from, whether it's from police, security operatives, or from the NURT people, you know, who actually was firing shots and to whom are those shots fired? Does it mean that resulted to the killing that, you know, brought about the arrest that we're seeing this morning?
We may not be here to actually categorically say, but let's believe that the investigations will do justice to that.
Okay, quickly we move on to the Daily Independent newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Daily Independent. Will resist APC turning Nigeria into one-party state. That's coming from the PDP. Says Supreme Court will correct errors in tribunal verdict. As president, I'm not cut out for excuses. I'll create wealth. I'm not cut out for excuses. I'll create wealth. That's coming from the president of Nigeria. Abbas says his intervention in UAE visa ban game changer. Okay, other stories in front of the Daily Independent. Nigeria on pathway to sustainable economic prosperity. Appeal court voids Delta Tribunal ruling. Affirms LP Okolie's election. Tribunal upholds LP Senator's election in Edo South. Nigerian military kills 151 terrorists, captures 456. TCN restores power after grid collapse, blamed on Kainji Jeba 330 kV fire. Tinubu sacks NAMI, appoints Adedeji FIRS acting chairman, appoints Aliyu Ahmed as federal commissioner and CEO NCFRMI, engages Delu Yakubu as national coordinator, CEO of NCPA. Okay, these are the stories making their headlines. Okay, FG assures on releasing over $500 million foreign airlines trapped funds. JEGA committee asked Tinubu to create Ministry of Livestock.
Of livestock.
Creating Ministry of Livestock is already a department in the Ministry of Agriculture.
I was coming to ask what is the Ministry of Agriculture
now
for?
I think there should be a separate ministry for livestock.
For livestock.
Just like the way that they've removed NIMC from the Ministry of Communication and then giving it to the Ministry of Interior, which is also to some extent not right. Not right. So trying to create another Ministry of Livestock, is it creating an avenue or channel to embezzle funds or what? Because I know that this livestock is already an existing department in the Ministry of Agriculture. I'm sure of that. So telling the president to create is a very, very wrong advice. What we should be talking about is how to fix our refineries.
Could it be that Jega wants to be Minister of the Livestock?
Creating offices now, so that people can.
So it's not. Even some of these offices has to be merged. Because when I heard yesterday that NIMC has been given to the Ministry of Interior, I was like, Ministry of Interior, are they the only ministry in the country? The immigration service is under them, custom is under them, some other parastatals are under the Ministry of Interior. Now NIMC has been given to them. It is very wrong. What they would have done is to work in hand with the Ministry of Communication. So I know that they gave their reasons, but even at that, they should have the technology that will harness the NIMC so that once you go to get your international passport, it will be very easy for you. Okay. So creating the Ministry of Livestock, it's not a good idea. They want to use it to embezzle the one that is left.
Okay, there's another story on the lower part of the Daily Independent newspaper, where it says court reserves ruling on motion seeking to jail INEC chairman. Court has reserved the ruling. Okay, I don't know which other story you look at before we move to the next paper.
Let me actually just take permit me, Mandy, just a little bit stroke on that last. Is it right or not that I will call it court reserves ruling on motion seeking? You see, if we bastardize the tiers of government, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, Nigeria is lost. Sorry about that. The fact is, people seem to have even lost trust and hope in the executive. That's the truth. And like I was telling somebody earlier today, even in the legislative, we feel like they are no longer doing enough because they are one force that can actually mitigate, monitor, serve as a watchdog over the executives. We feel they are not doing much. And
as checks and balances.
No proper checks and balances. Now in the judiciary, people are seemingly losing hope. Somebody was saying something yesterday that it will get to a time in this country where everybody will begin to defend himself. I said it will never get to, because I know what that mindset is doing. But ideally, the person may be right. Say, hunger will come to a point. Everybody now wants to get a means to survive at all costs. If the judiciary becomes very compromised, then there's trouble. Serious trouble.
Okay, let's move on now. The next paper for review, The Nation newspaper. Let's see stories making the headlines in front of The Nation. Defense headquarters, police turn heat on oil thieves, economic saboteurs. We have a rider there. Riders, 1 million liters of stolen crude seized in 1 week. IG orders clamp down on firearms production. We say Makinde appoints 29-year-old as commissioner. Governors get federal government push on mass food production. We won't allow one-party rule, says PDP. Adedeji replaces Nami as Federal Inland Revenue Service chair. How to prevent another national grid collapse. Tinubu will create wealth for all Nigerians. I don't know whether we look at this. We won't allow one-party rule because it's been in all the papers
Yes,
we've
it's been
seen,
repeated.
even in Daily Independent, it was the banner headline there. You know, could that be true that the APC is trying to turn Nigeria into one-party state?
Being the fact that it's coming from
The
a party that
opposition.
would say major opposition to APC, it may look like it's not something to actually anchor on, but it is. However, it's not just about the APC. Let's take a look. There are some states that are under the governorship of a PDP member or whatever. How are they? Are they judiciously distributing these palliatives? Fact is, there's so much politics in everything we do virtually, and it is wrong. What you are trying to say in essence is, so whoever does not play part with your political belief, with your political affiliation or anything, is not entitled to gain anything coming from the government. Then how do we say that we are a government for the people? As much as we know the layman's definition and understanding of democracy, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, they've just turned it. Anybody comes and decide whatever he wants to do, and they begin to do it, not minding the effects, not minding the consequences, how the citizens, the indigenous, get to feel about those things. It's hurting. I never wanted to land on it. Unfortunately, every paper keeps carrying it. It makes you sober. It makes you feel bad. Truth is, there is hunger. And if this palliative, as much as somebody like me is not in support of the palliative thing, because there is a way to channel this money and get the economy maybe a little bit balanced so that everybody can be favored. Even the palliative that has come, as a matter of fact, it's not everybody that should get that palliative. There is a class of persons in our society that is very, very hungry. They are below average.
How do we measure that? That's another
They are below-
problem. How do you know who is below average? How do
We
you
can.
get you can, because you are closer to the people.
grassroots.
Some people are not closer.
They
They'll
should
just
know.
do the thing up there and leave.
There's a local government.
They themselves, they have
councillors.
communities. They come
What are you
from
saying?
community. But you, at the end of the day, you will find out that, you know, this issue of we have class issue in Nigeria.
yeah.
You know, as big as I am, to condescend solo to knowing people that are down there. You know, if they want to be true to the
Realistic,
truth,
they can.
they will.
can.
You know, but I don't think. Let's hope and pray that things work out fine. That they will remember that there are people that actually
Below the
need the
line.
palliative.
Below the line.
All right, let's move on. Still on in front of the Nation newspaper, do we look at the defense headquarters? They said they turn heat on oil thieves and economic saboteurs. Today is not starting today. Oil thieves
It's
and
not
you know,
starting today. In fact, it's no
saboteurs.
longer
And you
news.
remember that the Labour Party presidential candidate said it sometime, and even some people in authority confirmed it, that the oils are stolen by people up there.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody
So-
said that oil theft is not for the low class. Oil theft is for someone who is up. I saw a clip yesterday and I wept. It's an Asian country. I would go to find that. They said the woman was saying that they are the richest oil producing country or something like that. And I was now waiting to hear her analysis of how. She said, we get the crudes from Nigeria, refine it, and sell it back to Nigeria. It's not a doctored clip. She was making a presentation in their country, and I don't know how true that is. That's why I would get back to it. You see, if our people can just be sincere, and that's why I keep telling people, the way we run our system is what we keep eating it up like a mice.
Actually, the debate didn't start today,
Of
you know,
course.
and when you listen to analysts talk, you know, most times it's as if the people doing this are known, but they are untouchable, so to speak. So let's watch
will
and
touch
see
them?
what
It's
the
still their
police,
cabal.
what police will do this time around.
will
They say they've
touch?
turned heat or oil on them. I don't know, heat on oil thieves and
You know,
saboteurs.
I think there was, few, either 2 months ago or so, there was one of the news that said that the former finance minister that that was being probed concerning oil, about billions of dollars that the Senate has ruled it out. So the oil theft starts from the top to the final consumers, because I can remember that our former president Buhari was both the president and at the same time the minister for petroleum. So now, if your finance minister is being probed about $1 million of oil theft, how come it happened? Because such a thing cannot happen without the knowledge of the minister. It cannot happen without, because I believe that there in Abuja there is no oil well in Abuja. It cannot happen without the states producing the oil. Was it in Delta State, without the governor, the knowledge of the governor in those states? If it happened in Delta State, the governor should be aware. In Bayelsa State, the governor should be aware. In Rivers State, the governor should be aware. Now, coming to the governor, the commissioner for petroleum should also be aware. Now, coming to the community, the local government where so you see the parallel from the descending order to get it. So they are the ones that know about it, and they are still the ones claiming that they are fighting it. So it won't be possible to fight the thief when they already know that they are the ones.
Anyway, Nigerians are watching for them to walk their talk.
Definitely.
Anyway, let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. Let's see stories in front of the Vanguard newspaper. CBN drives investment for rehabilitation of moribund ports. Olu of Warri ends protest by Ishekiris. One-party state will resist APC's plot. That's coming from PDP and LP. Delta Rep states appeal court sacks Elumelu, declares LP candidate winner. Farmer headers clashes. Committee recommends creation of livestock ministry. Okay, that's the reason they are recommending. Okay, let's move on. Illegal toll. IGP orders CPs to dismantle unauthorized checkpoints, arrest violators. Tinubu sacks Everairs boss. Okay, we've seen that before. And other stories, palliatives address root of poverty, not symptoms. Catholic bishops tell federal government.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's important to look at that story.
Yeah.
You know, address the root of
symptoms.
poverty and not symptoms.
Another funny part of it is that this palliative of it, like, the funds were even borrowed. That's the funny part of it, because because it was said,
and the states will pay back.
More
Yes,
like
the states will pay back. It's a loan to the states.
to the states.
And this is what so many people don't even think about, or they don't know about
And
it.
if you see the palliative, the quantity of food being
Sure.
distributed, you'll just laugh. It's a mockery.
Really?
We believe that this palliative is paying Peter to rob Paul, in the sense that the people and the analysis made, or the conditions given, was that there is also a particular place where you have to get these the food items, and you know that getting it at from that particular person, you are indirectly, or let me say, the federal government is indirectly empowering the person. The state must get those food items from a particular person. Yes. Now, and they will give you the fund, the cash fund, as a loan, which you pay back to the federal government. Now, what is the essence? Those money that you gave to those states, because some states were saying that their funds were small. Those 5 billion and 2 billion given to the 36 states, putting it together, it can fix the refinery. And with that, it will end the subsidy.
And what happened to workers? You know, most workers have dependents. that need this palliative.
Apart from the workers coming to...
No, look at what I'm trying to say. Are they not looking at that as also a palliative to increase the salaries of workers that have dependents probably that these palliatives will get to? Because when that is done, I think it's going to balance a lot.
Yes, you know,
Don't you think so?
I think when this subsidiary thing started newly and there was high cost of fuel and all that, I think the Edo State government did an increment and also reduced that
number of working days.
Yes, number of working days. That's another modality. Now, where I want to...
Number of working days. When we say that, when we are saying that productivity, the level of productivity in this nation, is it commensurate?
It is not, but hold on. You know, wait, hold on, I'm coming. You know, those ones are sure that at the end of the month that they will get something. Now, hold on, wait, I'm coming. Now, where my major concern now is, how will it get to, let's say, a sales girl working in a shop that are being paid like 15,000 naira per month? How would the person survive in this?
These things have ripple effect. You know, they have ripple effect. When a worker gets enough pay, that is when the purchasing power increases.
Yes.
That is when the man at the market can also increase the salary of his sales girl or whatever. That is, it's a ripple effect. The thing is that, do they know where to start? Where to start, so that it will, the cushioning of the effect will be,
that was why even I was at this studio, I mentioned it at the first time that this palliative of a thing is not a good idea. That this funds should have been channeled. In fact, the total money used for this palliative can fix one refinery, brand new one, not even maintaining the old ones that we had during the military regime. Are you getting me?
Okay.
If our processes are right, then we can make progress.
And things will fall in place.
I'm telling you, the truth is, a number of times, for instance, this palliative is not a bad thing, but what factors were considered in pushing up this palliative thing? Like, who said that we are talking on now? When you don't treat the root of a thing, you begin to take, cure on the symptoms, the periphery. It will still keep repeating itself. That's the
and it is the same thing that Nigerians are crying out now over this grid collapse, that there should be permanent solution to it, so that it will be, tackled once and for all.
Issues keep reoccurring.
See, in Nigeria, we have so many problems that we can give lasting solutions to. You talked about the grid collapse. Let's talk about the flooding that occurs every year.
Okay, quickly, let's take the two papers that are remaining together for want of time before we wrap up. 3 days, Daily Trust newspaper, 3 days to deadline. FG yet to recover anchor borrower loans from farmers. And Zulum is also taking the lead, taking the front of the papers. Throughout this week, actually, it's been Zulum and Daily Trust. It's been all over the front page. His achievements in 100 days in office. Now, they say Zulum 77 projects in 100 days of second term in Borno State. On Nigerian Tribune paper, we see proceeds of kidnapping used to finance terrorism. We saw that story yesterday. Nomination opens for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. So in front of that paper, we see Nigeria ranks highest in airport charges in Africa. And name passport crisis, FG moves names to Interior Ministry. This paper looks like yesterday's paper. I said it is Thursday 14th, but not to worry. Let's wrap up with this. 3 days to deadline, FG yet to recover anchor borrower loans from farmers. Let's look at it before we wrap up the show.
Coming to the anchor borrowers loan to farmers, we are giving a farmer loans, which in one way or the other, it's a good idea. But what is the worth of that loan given to the farmer? At what extent would that farmer use to make a productive, will it be a productive effect to that farmer? So at the end of the day, find out that what you are giving to the person is not even enough to do both the planting, the harvesting, and then bringing it out from the farm to the market for the consumers to handle. At the end of the day, find out that even the farmer itself is even struggling in a way to survive. So this loan, Nigeria can do better. And another thing is that Nigeria, we don't have data register. That is one of our problems. We don't have data register of coming to the farmers. We don't have data register. Coming to the citizens, we don't have data register. All we know is that, like in hand, that we are about 200 million. Nigeria has about 200 million population, but there is no data register of the citizens of this country.
Okay, quickly, you have anything to say before we wrap up?
I would actually like to talk about Zulum, but then you see, when you talk about loan, while giving out loan, you should also be able to strategize and consider the possibility of whoever you are giving the loan,
To be able to
how
favor.
much can the person generate in the time frame? What's the strength of the person's productivity? So all of these loans, see, agriculture is one key sector to generate funds, but how are we investing in it? How? That's why I said, if the processes are right, progress will be made. A very big thumbs up to Zulum for doing a great job. That's the much that I can say.
All right.
If like our governor in Anambra is also doing, we believe that if every governor takes this part, then
All right, it seems that Zulum is really showing us his scorecard, because since Monday I've been seeing the
Yes,
post,
he has.
you know.
Even from
we can't go further. Our time
from
is
his
fast
first
spent
tenure,
here.
he has been.
That's the much we can take on the press review for this morning. We'd like to thank you in no small measure for being here, Imandi Ezenago. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Arinze Anyebunam, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right, that's it on the press review. We have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Do stay.